another quick poll. How many people know who this character is?
Can't see.
Hard to tell from that angle.
Oh.
Lights!
If we told you it was from Karno
If we said it was,
Hyokai,
yeah, if we said it was from a Type Moon series, we know what it is. No. Do you guys know what Type Moon is? This is gonna be great.
this is fantastic. Oh, this is going.
Trust everything I
over
tell you.
1,000.
I love reading.
Alright, I'm gonna hit the lights for no lights because it's just easier to see.
Well,
Okay.
Not that we're gonna really use
Okay.
it for a lot.
Okay, Matt, will you hold my hand?
Yes.
I'm scared. Does that make it better? Wow, that's really great.
Yeah, it is.
snooker and raise it.
Anyway, so
Night Shot Plus. We're good.
this I'm probably going to be walking in front of the screen a lot because there's not a lot of room up here.
Yeah,
and
it's
after you
kinda
guys can't see me over here, and this thing's in the way right here, and so we'll be working.
Move the table.
There's room in here. We like people.
You love people.
No,
Talking to a panel of like.
I love the
really
darkness
hard.
because I believe in a thing called love. Just listen to the rhythm.
No one can see me move from the darkness.
Okay. Anyway, so this we are senpais and senpai without our glasses, and this panel is called the best anime you haven't seen. And this panel, hopefully, is where we are going to tell you about some animes that hopefully you haven't seen, but we'll go and watch after we tell you about them. So I'm Justin,
I'm Richard.
I'm Matt.
and our first up is, how many of you have heard of a series called Bakemonogatari? Awesome, one person, great.
So if we had our Kit Kats here, we'd throw it at you.
Yeah, if we had Kit Kats, I'll give you one, because
It's the thought that counts.
anyway, this series is called Bakemonogatari. It's a play on words. Bakemono means monster, Monogatari means story, and so they combine them two in traditional Japanese wordplay. And it's often translated as ghost story. So, well, this anime is about mostly the character on the left, the guy right there. His name is Arakawa or Toyomi. Somebody else stutters his name throughout the whole series, so that's why it's hard. But he, prior to the series, he was transformed into a vampire. And before the series starts, he gets cured of it, but there are some residual effects. Namely, he regenerates, he heals really quickly. And so, on his day at school, he's walking up the staircase, and this girl falls down, and he catches her. But she has no weight. She literally weighs like 0.05 kilograms or something like that. And it's a huge, and she has been cursed by this thing. And so through the course of the very first arc, he ends up trying to help her and stuff. This series is very much a romance series between those two. And so if you like that kind of thing, you'll like this. It's also supernatural. You have a lot of different supernatural things coming across. You learn a lot about Japanese folklore. That's where a lot of the curses come from that you come across, or the problems that you come, or oddities as they call them in the show. And the show covers different arcs about different things, and also follows them as they grow their relationship. It's a really good series that had a lot of. It sold really well in Japan, and for the life of me, I do not know why they haven't brought it over here yet.
Too Japanese.
No, you would think, but they brought over another one we're going to talk about that is more Japanese than this. Made by the same person, basically.
Awesome.
So it's pretty funny. But, all in all, if you like the romance, you're probably going to like this. And if you like, they're both high school students. It's typical anime thing, because you can't save the world if you're out of high school.
Average mentality age is like 14.
I know, right? So, yeah. Bakemonogatari, Bakemonogatari. I will.
Next time we do this panel, we should probably just have like.
I know. Wait, next time we're more prepared, I'll photo shoot it in there, even though we don't care. It's okay. Japanese is phonetic, if you guys don't know, but Bakemono. You got that part? Gatari.
Alternatively, I can just bring a notepad.
No, it's not gonna work, man. It's not gonna work.
Perfectly.
We can't. I can't stop it. No, don't, Matt.
You broke it. You broke everything.
There you go.
But now we can't see the.
And now you're ruining it.
Nope.
Okay.
I'm standing.
So that is Bakemonogatari.
I'm gonna be next. Oh, thank you. So I'm gonna talk about Even though Jikan. How many people have heard of this at all? If any? Oh, awesome! That's more than expected. This
Damn,
translates.
you're winning.
I'm winning. So this translates to the time of Eve. This is more sci-fi instead of kind of like the fantasy style. It's in the future where if androids really become a really popular thing, everyone's kind of have a personal android, but they've been given rules and restrictions. They're obviously supposed to like not hurt humans, the like whole 3 rules of a robot. But they're never. They all have this kind of identification thing right here. It's kind of like a halo. And they're supposed to have this on at all times, and they're supposed to act like an android at all times. But within the series, you kind of go through this process where you see these robots trying to become more than that. So they actually find this cafe that allows them to be more like humans, and they just get to act as casually as they can. Because they have the intelligence to do so, and they have the freedom and want to do that. And you kind of follow the main character as he tries to figure out what's going on with an android. Because he's unsure of why she's going astray and she's spending more time outside than he actually knows. So he tracks her down to this cafe, and you get to see his adventures as he keeps visiting his cafe, and he starts learning more about the android side of it and what they're going through. And it's very, very interesting, tastefully done in terms of you get to see these 2 sides. But it's actually very short. It's a 6 OVA series. Each is about 15 to 20 minutes. It was also made into a movie version that's about 1 hour 30 minutes. Both are really good to watch. They're basically the same in terms of content. The movie has a couple extra scenes, but it's not a huge difference. What? That's about it?
Can you spell it?
EVE, space NO.
RVR, that's right.
I'm good at typing. That's
JIKAN.
Starting out a bit more.
You're not helping.
I'm helping tremendously.
Oh, I like that one. Oh.
It's like, yeah.
Sorry. If everyone's got that, who wants to write these down? Then I'm going to start talking about a movie called Summer Wars. Has anyone seen Summer Wars? Yes!
You're
No street cred. I'm the best. So for those of you who haven't seen it, it's slightly unfair, but it's more accurate than I'd care to admit analogy, is that it's basically the first Digimon movie. Like, the premise of the movie starts.
I didn't think about that.
With
I love that movie.
with these 2 nerds here are code monkeys working on maintaining this internet network. This it's basically the internet for this world called the Oz network. And the Oz network is like the internet how people envisioned it would be 10 years ago, where everything, you can do anything you want over the internet. It's gotten to the point where your internet account, because you have one unified internet account for anything you want to do on the internet, can do just about anything that you could, which is important later in the series. So these two nerds are code monkeys maintaining it. When she comes in and asks asks one of them if they can do a part-time job, which is to go to her family reunion for their grandma's birthday and pretend to be her boyfriend.
Fiance.
Right, fiance. And that's really the premise of the series. That's the premise of the movie, but the real plot comes in later that night, the first night at the home, where he receives a mysterious email with a 2056 log number with the text decode made. He decodes it in like
Record time.
a couple hours because he's a fucking nerd and he can do that. And he sends it in.
The one in the middle right there. The one in the middle.
Yeah,
The other guy didn't go. He is forgotten about within the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, he sort of goes off to the side and helps him a little bit later. But and so what that does is it starts off this chain of events where this hacking AI hacks into the Oz network and just starts causing a ton of trouble. So that's where the Digimon movie parallels come in, because he's basically Diaboromon and they're the Digidestined, and but it's really, really well done, because it focuses just as much on the family life of this character here. And I can't. It's kind of hard to go into it, but it's just a really well done movie. It really like. I don't know, you really feel like you just like know the family members, and it's just very well done and put together, and it's just an amazing 2 hours, and the animation's top notch. So Summer Wars is fantastic.
It's also worth to point out that that middle character actually has a crush on that girl.
Yeah, because she's the prettiest girl in school.
In college.
In high school.
They're in college.
Oh, they're in high school
They're in
because
high school.
you
They're in
can't
college.
save the world unless you're in high school.
They're
So
in
we
college.
just went over this.
No, because of the time
No,
time
they're
stamps and
not.
stuff. No, they go over their birthday.
No.
I think what you should
Wait,
do,
wait,
you should all just watch it,
Convince them.
and then come back and tell us.
He's in college.
So we'll have your input on whether who was right.
It is in high school.
Well, damn!
Man, you guys are all liars. I don't believe
I've
it.
seen it twice.
I've seen it like 7 times. I don't remember. I'm
I
tired.
remember better than you.
Yeah, apparently. All right, my turn. Who has seen The Legend of Black Heaven?
No.
One person? Man, we're not counting you, Lou.
That's like
Anyway, so The Legend of Black Heaven is a story about one man who has to rock out to power a giant alien space laser to save the solar system from the oncoming alien invasion. No joke.
We are not making this up.
It is a
fools.
space laser powered by rock and roll. This follows the story of a man called Oji Tanaka who used to be in a band, and then he gets a desk job, and he really wishes he could go back to that time. And he married one of his groupies, and he has a kid, and he's like a family man now. And so then he comes across one of the new lady at work, says there's a cool gig that he can play at. And she gets him, and she's one of the she's an alien who needs help defending the solar system. So he plays this, he rocks out and powers this giant space laser. But eventually, one man cannot rock hard enough, so he has to get the band back together. And this follows the story about how him reuniting with these people that he has known, and him dealing with, I want to play this music, but I have a family now, and can he do that? Should he do that? He kind of told that it takes on his wife
Who
as a
thinks
result of
that-
this.
who
Who also
thinks
thinks
that
that he's cheating on her with the lady. And that is, it's an older series. It's late 90s, I think, early 2000s. Is it? I don't remember. I have it in my car. But the quality is not very good, and you'll notice that. But it really speaks to an older group of people as you go to college. This will probably be more apparent to some of you, but it really speaks to that. And it's if you like hard rock, this just show is for you because it's
hard rock saving this
because
place.
hard rock is the place. The name of it is actually on the corner if you guys can see it. The Legend of Black Heaven was the. Well, that's really trippy.
I've been staring at that for the entire time we've been talking.
Yeah, you guys can't see it. But it's called Legend of Black Heaven. Spelled how it sounds.
Yep.
Next is.
Wait 1 sec. We had a question.
We had a question for that?
Did you have a question?
Anybody?
Did
Somebody
you
have a
raise your
question?
hand?
She just wanted to know what the name was, and I said,
Okay.
oh, you'll say it again.
Okay.
We'll say it like 7. Legend of Black Heaven.
We'll also probably write everything down on a list and just stay here for like 10 minutes with that list.
Yeah, because
That's very possible.
that happens.
Alright. Sure.
Oh yeah, 30 side.
Love this show.
This is awesome.
So this aired, was it two seasons ago?
It was recent. This aired
This is
recently.
last season.
This is very recent. It's called 30 Sai.
30 sign of Hoken Taiiku.
Yeah, because Justin speaks Japanese and stuff.
I'll spell it out after. Don't.
Yeah. It's 30-year-old health and
Physical education for 30-year-olds.
Sorry, I never cared much for a title, but it's a great show. It's basically a story about this 30-year-old virgin and how he's visited by the god of sex.
That
Who's this guy right here? And he's like, there's a problem. You have not gotten laid yet. So I'm gonna solve it. And he is basically stuck with this god of sex that's just coaching him through so he can get laid.
Like
throughout
the whole process too. Like from seeing her to like the date and everything.
Yeah, no, he's going step by step through like dating, like getting like prepared for the dates, obviously etiquette, and all this, and it's actually really, really well done in some ways.
It's a little weirder when you realize that it is for its intended audience. It is probably meant almost as more for the informative aspects than the comedy
one of the things
aspects,
is
but
anyway between all the episodes, there's actually a lot of helpful advice it gives, and as much as you want to be like, no way, this can't be good advice, it oddly gives some relatively solid advice. Like, because we're at Anime-con, I like bringing this up. It brings up bathing and good hygiene, which I'm not gonna point fingers at people, but Anime-cons kind of get a rap for bad.
not so much anymore.
Big Ohio-con.
Well, that's Ohio.
Honestly, if you guys didn't know, you should never go to Ohio because it's basically Cedar Point and then Cedar Point's parking lot and
That's
That's
it.
it. That's Ohio. You've been in Ohio. Everything's safe. What's really good show, it also has a lot of if you've seen a lot of older anime, it has a lot of references. It references a lot of Dragon Ball Z. It references a lot of Ava.
So much Ava, right?
And it's just
amazing.
It's really good. And it's a romance story, and it does everything really well.
You also the kicker part is that this girl right here.
No, you can't spoil it.
You can't
No,
spoil
you
it.
can't
That's the
spoil it.
spoilers.
It's not
spoilers.
They show you the end of the first episode.
You yell at me for that.
Fine.
You guys gotta
Fine.
just see it.
I'm
It's
gonna watch it.
fantastic.
It's fine.
So yeah, that one's gonna be a write down. 30. No, go for it.
just knows those.
It's either I think it's Hoken Taiiku. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry.
We're really bad at actually knowing foreign languages, except Justin.
30 sign. Health. It's usually just abbreviated 30 sign.
Yeah.
If you look for 30 side, it'll come up.
That's usually what it is. On your torrents.
On the BitTorrent.
On the BitTorrent.
Alright,
So next we have a song for you guys, and
I love this song.
damn it, Matt, what'd you do to me?
the Windows button.
So we're gonna play a song, and if you guys know it, you should totally sing
No,
along.
because it's under the.
Because it'll make this way more magical.
How do I make it not supposed to be negative?
Yeah, you're so.
Whatever. We'll back to it.
What have we done?
Move. Is it playing?
You should turn up the volume.
I think it's playing. So.
Oh, I guess we did have to.
No!
In the end.
This happened last time we did this panel too. The song went over. That was so sad.
Do you have the speaker switched on under the photo?
That's what we're gonna check.
So here's the time where.
Stop it and
Let's look at the list of them.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of good.
Well, here's where you're gonna basically get to see his soundtrack list. Yes.
Are any of these in
No.
Oh, most of these have been subtitled. Everything we talked about.
Well, okay,
is
subbed, yes. An English release is very different. 30 Side has not had an English release. Bakemonogatari has not had an English release. Summer Wars has.
Legend of Black Heaven.
Legend of Black Heaven has, but it's really hard to find.
Yeah.
We probably should have tested this.
So most of the stuff, all of it we've talked about has been subbed somewhere out there.
No.
English releases, it's
No.
because licensing and all that, it's harder. And certain licenses aren't picking up anime as much, but now there's a couple new ones picking up.
What else? Jikan?
Jikan's not licensed. When I get to Arakawa, that was licensed.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Season 1 and 2.
No idea what I'm looking for in here.
Yeah, well, a good one to look out for is
Well, let's hope my speaker's loud enough.
Niz America, which used to be a bunch of video games, or Nipponichi. They're actually doing a lot of anime and picking up a lot of more obscure work. So they picked up Kamonogatari and stuff like that.
So we're gonna try it off my laptop speakers, which will probably not be very good.
Shut the doors.
No, we leave them open and we attract more people.
Ah,
It's the only way.
good luck.
How many of you know this song? Really?
It's from an
This is probably the most American anime ever made.
It is
Yeah, it's up there. But
I never dreamed before. Yeah.
this is a song. The song is from an anime called Beck.
Hit USA.
Yeah, it's this show is about a kid who wants to live the dream and join a rock band. But the thing is, it's handled in a way different from almost anything else that actually goes for that story. Because at the very beginning, he sucks. He only gets into the band because he realizes that his taste in music is terrible, and he needs to listen to rock and roll to get the girl. And when he listens to it, he realizes, wow, I want to do this. And so he tries to learn guitar, and he's terrible at it. So like the first 10 episodes is him trying to get good enough at the guitar to join the band. And when he finally does, it really feels like an achievement because you've watched him struggle. And then you've got the rest of the show to go with it when you watch them struggle with being an indie band and how hard it is to do that. Because nobody knows who you are, you can't. It's really hard to get fame. Managers and producers will try to screw you over, trying to screw you out of money, and it's really well done. And a lot of people are references to other. There's a lot of references to other bands. For instance, near the end, the bassist joins the Pillows, the Japanese band who did the Fuli Kuli. One of the characters is, their lead singer is a reference to Zach De La Rocha of Rage Against the Machine fame, and it's really well done. I'm going to tell you up front though that the animation quality and the pacing are really bad. It was a show that it didn't feel like it got the budgets it needed, and the budgets that it did get went towards making these CG guitars, and they kind of look terrible anyway. But it is a really good show. Anyway.
And you know, all in all, basically what it is, it's a really good show, and it could have been one of the best, you know, boy becoming a man stories that could have like ever been made if it hadn't been wasted on a poor budget.
The budget of all their guitar playing.
Yeah,
The
right.
budget of guitars.
Yeah, the animation quality is really low until you get to the actual like guitar playing, where it just jumps up astronomically. But then it'll go back down.
Okay. How many of you know a show called Planet Tess? Well, I have like one on every one I know. So, Planet Tess is a story set in 2070 where it follows a galactic, or not galactic, it's just a space garbage man by the name of Hashiroda, also known as Hachimaki, is what he's nicknamed as. But this story is, you know, follows his endeavors as well as a girl who joins his department on this space station, and it starts out, you know, really low key, like, all right, we got a job today. What's our job today? What do we got to go retrieve? You have to make sure that it doesn't. That other space. The reason that they have this debris collection is that, you know, by the time 2070, we have so much debris floating in space, and if it's orbiting Earth, it's orbiting at like 200,000 miles an hour. So they have to. And if it like were to hit like glass, it would be a huge problem. Or like even, and so they have to get these things out of the way so that it doesn't, you know, destroy shuttles and stuff as it leaves. So you follow the very unglorious life of debris collectors for the third part. And then the show is somewhat prestigious though. What do you mean?
I thought that it was actually hard to become a garbage collector.
No.
Oh.
No.
It's not.
It is actually the lowest department in the space station. They get the least on a budget, but like
Okay.
you do need to have special training to do it.
Alright.
Like it's not nobody can do it because you have to go out into space. You have to have a registration and stuff like that. But you know, it's not you don't get paid a lot or anything. So it follows your struggles. There's a romance in it, which you'll find about stuff that I suggest is something I absolutely love. So that's why I suggested. But the show really starts to pick up when something happens that causes the main character to want to get on this flight to Jupiter. There's going to be this first manned flight to Jupiter, and he wants to be on it. And from this point, it becomes a story of him trying to figure out who he is and what he wants, and can he do what he wants. And it ends the series in a really beautiful way, I felt. And so I think it's worth a really big watch for people who are fans of sci-fi, because this series is probably the most realistic sci-fi I've ever seen. By 2070, in this storyline, the only thing humanity has done, you know, that's really big is they've gone to Mars. They don't have fast and light travel. They don't have light travel. They don't have, you know, even close to light travel. But they've been to Mars, and his father was on a mission to Mars. And so, you know, and they did a lot of research when making this anime. The guys who were producing it, they went to NASA and like talked to them about it. So a lot of effort went into making this thing very realistic, and I felt that it kept that when they made it. So it was made in 2003. Planetes is spelled Planetes. It's actually you'll see it often spelled in Greek.
I don't know how that.
Yeah, you can't do that.
No, I don't think I can.
You should spell Beck because people don't know spell.
Oh, yeah.
Like the band.
In case you didn't know, Beck is.
E-C-K. It's often actually they put Mongolian chops by afterwards.
Oh yeah, that is the other thing.
I think we missed one there.
We did. We missed. We didn't put Legend
Legend
of
Black
Heaven
Heaven
or
because
Civil
they-
Wars because they're easy. So yeah. Then I guess that's Planetes.
Alright, so this is going to be Arakawa Under the Bridge. So if you're wondering, this one actually is completely licensed and both seasons have been released.
This is the show we were talking about. So that was, it's very Japanese. That, you know,
It is
Most
fantastic.
Japanese.
So this is, I don't know if anyone's seen,
Oh, actually, has anybody seen this show?
yeah.
Cool.
1, 2.
2. Haha.
Cool. Yeah, anyway, if you guys have seen Zetsubo Sensei, it's very similar to that kind of style. The main
Same day we did Bakemonogatari at the beginning of
Yeah.
the panel as well.
so this guy Ko, as I kind of get into one, he's the main character. He is this very strictly raised person who's basically a son of this man who has a very large fortune. And he's been always raised to have certain morals in which one is never to be helped. And if he's ever helped, he has to repay someone, no matter what. And the show starts out with him going across this bridge and losing his pants. And he wants to get his pants back. And this girl, Nino, is able to get his pants for him and offers to give it back to him. And he's like, I cannot accept this, I would then owe you a favor, I refuse. And they go through this like, awkward, I refuse to take this, and she's like, you should just take this. And he ends up through awkward circumstance having to take it, and he feels like he owes her something. So he asks her, how can I repay you? And she in turn says, be my lover. So he now ends up living with her right under that bridge, where he finds out all these people live under that bridge, and they have their own kind of awkward society.
And they're all balls crazy.
They are all crazy. And this is where
Actually, that guy, the guy in the red jacket is actually mostly sane.
Whitey? No.
Whitey.
Whitey. He's probably more sane than any of the other ones. Like there's the nun over there. Like, would you say that?
Sister.
That's a guy, by the
Yes,
way.
right, the nun is a guy. We'll just clarify this. Sister. But the show basically goes about him while he lives under the bridge and all these people he meets and all the eccentric stuff that goes on, which gets more and more Japanese and more crazy, but it's all really good.
Really funny.
And what's kind of interesting is every episode is like broken up into like
5 episodes.
it's like 5 to 10 episodes. It's really short, like almost like 3-minute like shorts. Yeah. But it's all really good. It is 2 seasons long now. So you might make a 3rd probably.
They have content. It's based off of something, a light novel or I think it's a manga actually.
But they have content, and I know they clearly want to go further, but there's just a lot of cool stuff in it just because every character has a really unique personality, and it's just really out there, but that makes it kind of good.
It follows the life of a society of homeless people.
Yeah,
Like they all literally live under this bridge. There's like,
But they're
by
all-
this bridge.
well, but they're able to operate under it so well.
And no one knows how.
Well,
There's actually a reason why. They
they
have
have
society.
like the 2 girls over there. The one with the red hair, she actually is a farmer basically under a bridge, and the one left of her actually has animals, has like a farm.
Fruits, vegetables, and then Maria, which is her nickname. They all have nicknames, by the way, which
Yeah.
is not their real name.
Yeah, main character actually gets the nickname of Recruit, and he hates it.
Oh, for those of you who've seen Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, the guy with the star face, he's voiced by the guy who voiced Kyo in Japanese.
Just
He also does have a star face.
it's a fantastic show.
Just
It's
in
a really
case people
fun
are
show.
wondering.
Wabi sabi.
Wabi! It needs a bit more wabi.
Little wabi, little less sabi. Which makes no sense at all if you don't like Arakawa under the bridge. There's no colon.
Yeah, there's no.
Man, nuts to that.
It's
There
actually
is now,
in
like-
America. It's Arakawa X. You show them. In America, it's like Arakawa X Bridge.
You're whatever.
It's
They're dumb.
like
Yeah,
Americans
that's
are
dumb.
lazy.
That's dumb as rocks.
I'm just dumb like
We're avoiding
Dumb
that.
as
Dumb
rocks.
dumb as bricks.
So anyway, this show is called Akagi, and it's amazing.
Who's seen Akagi? Man,
It's
we're
like-
doing pretty good.
It is awesome.
He's seen all that
It is-
shit.
It is fantastic. It
What's
is
the
about a
half of it?
man. It is about a man who plays mahjong, which is,
This show is so cool if you don't know how to play mahjong.
and he starts out the series. He does not have any idea how to play mahjong. He's just this like kid.
He's Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, he's
You can learn any game.
He's
It's
like
like
real
real.
like Yu-Gi-Oh! Because he has an incredible grasp of human psychology. But like the series starts, he's in what, like high school, younger?
Middle school.
Middle school, yeah.
He's in middle school.
He's in like middle school, and he just walks in on this group of yakuza playing mahjong with this guy who owes him their life. If he loses, then he dies, and his life insurance gets paid over to the yakuza. And he walks in the middle of this and convinces this guy to let him play. And he does not, he has no idea how to play mahjong. They teach him the very basic rules, and he just kicks everyone's ass, wipes the floor with them. And through the series, you just follow him playing mahjong and just like breaking people with it. It's incredible. And
That is great.
he always succeeds because he just has this incredible grasp of human psychology. Like he can very, very quickly see what people are going to do, how they're going to react to any given situation. And it's why you watch the show, is for him, watching him just doing this, and it's just like, wow. And the whole time he's going through, his goal is to play a senseless match of utter destruction, where both people have no reason to continue doing what they're doing, but they keep doing it, and one person has to lose everything from it. And that's his goal in the series. And it's
Basically.
sadly it was based off a manga, and the only flaw with the
I keep
series
saying
really
bingo.
is that the second each arc is like 4-5 episodes, except for the last one, which is like the second half of the series, and it still ends in a cliffhanger. If you haven't read, yeah, it does.
Is it?
You know the solution. You know what happens.
Well,
They
you
just
know
don't-
what
They
happens.
just don't show what happens.
Yeah.
They pull a bleach.
Yeah, like
Skip.
yeah, it was a very badly executed ending, I think, but otherwise it's a fantastic show. Also, the art style is crazy, as you can see. Like everyone looks ridiculous, and it's amazing. Anyway.
Akagi. Know about Kaiji?
Well, yeah, there's another series that the guy did called Kaiji. It's not quite as good. Justin knows more about it than I do.
Kaiji is you have a guy who's in debt. Through no means of his own, he co-signed a loan for his friend, and because his friend couldn't pay, he now owes a bunch of money. So they're like, you know what? We got a plan for you. We will let you play children's card games on a boat for 14 hours, and you may get to pay your debt back. So he gets thrown to a game called Restricted Rock, Paper, Scissors. Basically you're playing rock, paper, scissors, except you have a limited amount of times that you can use it in the form of cards. So you start with 4 of each. I think you start with four scissors, 4 rock, 4 paper. And you go to somebody, and then if you play, you win star chips from the other person. It sounds terrible, but that's just the beginning of the series. And it follows the story of him and how he's trying to repay his debt, and the kind of things that he has to do to try and ensure that he can win. There's a part of the series where they start buying cards from other people, so that they try to buy like all the rocks. So the only thing left the opponent should have is like paper, and they'll just use their scissors. And it's really fun. Anyway, but the rest of the series, he goes through a series of different other games, and it actually ends with a really, really cool scene that I cannot tell you anything about because it's badass. But so if you like Akagi or if you like Kaiji, you should watch the other one. They're very similar, and they both go together. And then next we have How many of you have seen this anime? I'm not going to say what it is yet, but
Part of it.
okay.
I've seen
Okay. How many of you have read the book, The Count of Monte Cristo? Okay. This is an anime version of that book. This is actually how the show looks. This really weird art style, which I happen to really like. I know a lot of people who don't like it, but I actually really like this art style.
I think there's times when it's really good, then there's other times where I'm like, it's a little heavy.
This show has an English release, which actually did a pretty good job with the English dubbing. But the Japanese name is called Gankutsuou, but it's often translated. It's not translated. It's because it's subtext of The Count of Monte Cristo. So, for those who don't know The Count of Monte Cristo, I suggest you watch this show because I think this is my favorite version of The Count of Monte Cristo story because it follows a different viewpoint. You follow the son of Ferdinand Morcerf. His name's Albert, or Albert as it's pronounced in English, but it's French, so pronounced Albert. And he's the guy with the brown hair right there. And it follows the story of him and through his eyes and his encounters with this count. If you know anything about the book, the count is obviously the guy. If you know anything about the book, you know the story's from the Count of Monte Cristo, from the Count's point of view. So you know a lot about what's happened. And so for those who who read the book but have not seen this, imagine you're seeing it from the point of Albert, so you don't know who this Count is. You see this guy, and he's invading in basically your family's life, and you have no idea why. So it adds a lot of mystery I feel to the story that really enhances the mood for the people who haven't seen it before or don't know the story. So, in general, Count of Monte Cristo is a really good book. This, pretty much for the same reason, is a really good anime.
I think we should also mention it's in the future.
It's also set in the future. Yes,
Where there's
that's
space
important
lasers.
because it has spaceships and it has a mech battle that really made no sense. I'll admit the mech battle did not make any sense.
I remember when I was watching, I was like, I don't remember mech battles in Count of Monte Cristo.
Gankutsuou. Okay, it's actually, you can put a U or an H at the end. Yeah, it's depending on how you romanize it.
Magic. Anyway.
Magic.
Magic.
Next is...
Oh, Ookami-san. Alright, so, how many people have seen this? Heard of it? No? Great God.
I heard of it.
Alright, awesome. So basically, to start off, this anime is actually kind of about a high school of more or less a bunch of kids. But every episode is going to be actually kind of based off of Grimm fairy tale almost, or other types of fairy tales. So a lot of characters are kind of paralleling a lot of old fairy tales. And that was my reason why I actually really appreciate it.
Is that Red Riding Hood?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, she's supposed to represent the wolf, and she's supposed to be Red Riding Hood, and the main character's supposed to represent the hunter. It's okay. The Red Riding Hood one isn't the one that makes a whole lot of sense. Everything else makes a lot more sense.
Is it the wolf chick?
Yeah.
Okay. That was really funny that we have.
He's hunting the wolf because it's romance.
Okay, you just say it out loud then.
Yeah, no, I'll
That's what we're
swear.
talking about.
Yeah. So the main character, he's a very shy character, and he doesn't normally interact with anyone. But the girl gets into this fight, and he feels he needs to rescue her, and he's really good with a slingshot, so he actually saves her. But he runs away immediately, and she never really gets to see who he is. And then later in the series, they end up meeting up, and he ends up joining their group of people who run this sort of bank that's not based on money, but based on favors. So they're willing to help out anyone in the high school with any problems they have, but then they're owed to the bank, and they can call in the favor at any other time. So it's kind of interesting. You just seem weirded out by it.
I'm trying to read the Japanese.
Oh, okay. But basically, you have very interesting stories within this, like the tales of Rabbit and Hare. There's Snow White. There's Sleeping Beauty, I believe, is one. But it goes through all of these different stories. Well, you're all kind of building up this relationship between the main character who represents the hunter and the wolf girl, and it's mainly a romance. And then later it comes into play that another character represents another wolf, and that's kind of where the drama lies. But I think it's actually a relatively funny anime in terms of how it's tastefully done. It's very kind of kiddish at points, but it still has very, very dark moments. I know a lot of people actually stopped watching it because they misconstrued stuff. There's bad subbing, but that's besides the point. Yeah, subbing's really good, and people should watch it. Especially if you like fairy tales. I'm a really big fan of fairy tales, and that's what actually made me watch it.
So I'm not gonna write this one down because it's like right there, and if you wanted to write it down, you already have it.
Well,
It has
the
actually-
full name is Ookami-san. I don't remember the iteration for the 7-person thing, but that's the symbol for 7 persons, and then and friends.
What didn't help was the same time this aired, there was another Ookami-san show, but that was the weird one with, like, the girl who's crippled and werewolves. Anyway, that one wasn't good, so
Don't watch it.
don't watch the other one.
Watch this one, Ookami-san. You'll be able to figure it out.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I can't figure it
I
out.
trust you guys.
I can't.
He believes it.
Ah! You skipped one! You spoiled the best one, Matt!
I didn't.
We're gonna ruin it.
So this is a show called Haibane Renmei, which is this one's a
How
little.
many of you have seen Haibane Renmei?
I was gonna say, there's no way where you're gonna know.
You're the winner today, sir. I just
You would
want
have
to
like
know.
2 Kit Kats, by the way.
You have like 8 Kit Kats.
I don't like this show, but
This show is really like I'll freely admit this show isn't for anyone, but I really think everyone should give it at least a shot because if you're gonna like the show, you'll love it. The best way to like introduce you would be to summarize the first episode, where you see this girl. It starts off, you just see her falling, and she's just wearing this like white robe, and she's falling, and there's this crow that's trying to. It looks like it's trying to like save her from falling, and she's like, no, bro, you just can't pull that one off. I'm sorry. And then it cuts to another character who's walking through this old dilapidated school building. And in one of the rooms, she sees this giant, like, egg sort of thing. And you notice that this character has little angel wings and a halo. And so she starts freaking out and has everyone else in this who's living in this school, who also all have these halos and angel wings, and they come into this room where out from the egg comes this character. And over the course of the episode, her wings grow in, which is a really like horrible, painful experience, and they put this halo on her because that one isn't actually natural. They make it, and they're introduced to this world where these people are called the Haibanes, and they're in this town that you can't leave. The only people who come and go are the Toga, where there's just these mysterious people that nobody is supposed to talk to except for like 2 people in the town, and the birds. And the Haibane are kind of like second-class citizens in this town. They're normal people. They're not allowed to have money, and there's several restrictions on what they can and can't like do. They can't buy new clothing. They have to go to second-hand shops, and then they have to modify the clothing to let their wings through. And it's a really slow series that explores the relationships between the characters of all the Haibanes, and like they're just what it's like in this town and how weird it is, and then them trying to understand like what they are and why they're like this, and it's never really answered. There's some theories that get thrown around that that people sort of accept, but there's never a definitive answer, and it's just a really interesting series. It's just because of how different it is from anything else you're gonna find, I think. So yeah. Also, it's got some amazing music. If anyone's played Shadow of the Colossus, it's by the same composer, and he is phenomenal. Kao Otani. But yeah. That's all I have to say about that.
So the next one that we have is pretty much the reason why we started this panel. How many of you have seen a movie called The Red Line? 2, and you could both agree this movie's amazing, right? Exactly. Red Line. Imagine F-Zero. So you know Captain Falcon, right? So imagine you have hover cars, right? And that's how people race. Imagine that, except one guy is driving a 2003 Pontiac Transit.
And he wins.
And he wins. So this is the story about the well-rounded race called the REDLINE race. And if you win this race, you become pretty famous between other racers and stuff like that. It's basically a Galaxy Grand Prix. Is all leads up to this race that you have to qualify for. This story follows a character called JP, who has a pompadour the size of the moon.
It's incredible.
I can show you a picture of it later, because I have.
Yeah, it's the next one after.
I don't think is it the next one?
We'll see.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Oh,
That's Bartender.
Disappointing.
I'm so disappointed. Especially
It's
because
in
it's
there.
Bartender.
Bartender is about alcohol. Anyway, so people like alcohol. So JP, is racing in this yellow line race, and there's some complications that arise there. But he ends up getting his chance to ride in the red line race. And so this middle part, which I will admit is kind of slow, this middle part sets up the tone for this race and what this race means, and introduces all these other racers to you. And through the course of that event, you finally get to the red line race. And the red line race is literally one of the single best moments in anime history ever.
It is like the best action sequence in the history of ever, and it's like half an hour long.
It is amazing. So there's this, so how many of you know the meme, this is real pod racing?
Now this is pod racing.
Or this is pod racing. So there's a part in this red line race where you'll be like, now this is pod racing! But then 5 minutes later you're like, no it wasn't! This is real pod racing! Because that's how batshit insane this shit gets.
You should also mention.
No, I shouldn't.
Yeah, you should.
What is it? Because I probably gonna just say
No, I
it.
forgot it. Just keep going.
Well,
Oh yeah. Here, you gotta mention where it is and how goofy. That
I know, I
is.
was getting there. That was my next thing.
No, it wasn't.
So,
No, it wasn't.
anyway, this race is held on a world called Robo World. And to put it simply, I'll just quote the movie. When they tell him that the race is on Robo World, he's like, really? Robo World allowed you guys to do this? And they're like, no, they didn't. So basically, imagine if a bunch of NASCAR fans went to France and said, we're going to hold our Grand Prix here. And they're like, no, you're not. And they're like, yes, we will.
And then the entire South just invades Paris, France, and then the French military starts shooting
Trying
at
to
them
stop
as
them
they
from
run the
racing.
race. And it's amazing. Also, they go through France's top secret, France's Area 51, where they have weapons of mass destruction held, and they're trying to kill everyone before they can.
And then Akira happens.
Oh, it's amazing.
it is pretty natural. Something to mention also, sorry to take this away from you, but they actually have some, all other racers you get to meet, besides basically the three really big ones, are all really colorful characters, and I think that's what really adds to it. So you meet
Zoidberg's a character.
Zoidberg is a character.
You get to meet Lichpin and Johnny Boy, which I think are actually really.
Lichman, not Lichman.
Yeah.
I like Lichpin. That's way cooler. It makes more sense.
Alright.
Well, all these characters you get to meet are actually relatively colorful, and I think they really add to it.
They really fleshed out these characters that were normally minor characters, but gave them backgrounds and stories, and made them their own people. And also, the final thing to note for this is that this movie took 7 years to make, and the reason being is that every frame of this movie is hand drawn. They hand drew every frame of this movie.
In high def.
In high definition, it's an hour and a half of glorious racing car awesome. And
It's
boosts
animation with a capital A. It is amazing.
It is the reason why we do this panel, so that we can tell people about this. The Blu-ray came out in mid-January. It sold out within weeks. Probably because we told everybody about it at Yamacon.
Dude, the Blu-ray box art is it's just Pompadour.
I know.
Just Pompadour. That's how
They
big
are
this Pompadour
doing. They are
is.
doing a second. They're doing a second run. They're doing a second print, so you still have time to get it. So if you can order it online or something like that and have them, so they'll just ship it when they get it, so that you have a copy. But this is it's only an hour and a half of your time, and it is worth every minute. And at the very end, you're not helping. And at the very end, they do something, and you were like, well, before they do it, you're like, this would be really cool if this happens. And then it happens, and you're like, man, that was conclusive. And then it ends. And it is probably one of the better endings I've come across. And it has a really awesome soundtrack.
Only your computer's decided you're really quiet all of a sudden.
No, that's because I turned it down. This is the soundtrack for the first race. This takes a little bit to get into, but after this, it goes to a nice guitar riff. But that's all the stuff we have planned to talk about today. So if you guys have any other questions or our opinions about other anime or other suggestions, we'd be willing to answer them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so any other questions? Yes,
Can I see the list again?
the list.
The list.
The list.
We're possibly missing like 2 things.
Throw in these, like, I don't remember.
You
Throw
are yes.
throw in the ones that we
Will
missed.
do.
Black Heaven.
Legend of Black Heaven and Star Wars Ookami-san knows something.
Something.
Dark side. Something complete.
There.
Alright, that's the list.
We've got more we can talk about if we
If we got
if we
some other
can't
stuff
fill
we
the
can
next
talk
10
about.
minutes with your questions and comments and concerns.
Yeah,
we'll
we'll talk about.
But
But I'd rather answer questions first. Yeah. Any questions? You guys are, oh yes.
First anime you ever saw?
Mine, like my favorite, well,
No, first
the
one.
first one I saw,
That you remember.
Sailor Moon.
Dragon Ball Z.
Okay.
I think mine was Sailor Moon.
Alright.
Like, jeez.
Okay.
Toonami.
The first anime that I knew it was anime by that time was probably Ava.
First anime I like fell in love with was Slayers though.
First anime I fell in
That I
love
was
with
just like,
was
man.
probably Ava. It is now Bakemonogatari.
It is not my
I think Vandren is my first like real like this is anime.
Man, that was
Here's
good
good stuff.
Any other questions? No questions. We explained everything about anime to you guys. Awesome.
magical. We're apparently really good at this maybe.
Best. So we're gonna keep doing that.
Bartender? I don't know, what's the next picture?
Bartender.
Paprika! Well, let's talk about Paprika.
Oh.
Okay.
How many of you have seen Paprika? Good. How many of you know who, how many of you have seen Paranoid Agent?
Just try how many of you have heard Satoshi
How,
Kon.
shh, no, that's not gonna help. How many of you have seen the movie Inception? That movie Inception, director, on record, saying he got that from this movie. This movie is Inception before Inception came out. It involves people going into other people's dreams, and how crazy that is. But you know, it's kind of it's a little bit futuristic sci-fi. Follows a bunch of characters actually instead of just one major character. But there's this character who calls herself Paprika who does therapy via entering people's dreams. I keep thinking of Archangelica. Is that what you thought of?
A little bit.
And so she goes into people's dreams, and this follows the you know, her doing that while there's other people trying to advance this technology or trying to use it to do different things. And there's I can't really talk. There's a lot of spoilers in revealing the plot, so I can't really talk about it. But it's a really good movie, and if you like any of Satoshi Kon's work,
May he rest in peace.
he's dead now.
His relatively trippy work.
It's relatively trippy work. You probably like this. Like Paranoid Agent is the closest thing I can talk that really fit into this. What's the next one, Matt?
Next one was.
If ever you guys have
Or
questions,
Redline.
That's the Pompadour. That's the Pompadour from Redline.
Seriously, look at that thing.
also
Kill it, man.
let's note
No,
wheels.
Look at that wheel in the front of his car.
Redline's awesome if you don't watch it. I don't know what this is.
Oh, Angel.
Battle Angel Alita.
Yeah.
Has anybody seen this? It is a 2-episode OVA. You should watch it.
Well, that sure was a glowing review.
James Cameron loves it.
No, it's about this. We find this robot person, a cyborg, who doesn't really remember who she is, but she gets taken in by this you know, cyborg repairman, and she could go in job. She gets thrown into a you know, plot to try and leave this godforsaken land that she's on, and involves a real boy that she falls in love with, but. And it's old, but it's good. It's only 2 episodes, so it's definitely worth the time that it'll take you to do it. Next, what else we got? That's Kaiji, and that's the badass scene that I was talking about.
It's pretty badass.
It's pretty badass. I wish you saw it, man. Then you could really understand.
No, I'm not going to talk about it. I wouldn't even have to give the floor over to you.
Yeah, right?
I could steal more of the panel from you. That'd be great.
That's more Bakemonogatari. That's all the other girls that he ends up talking
No
to.
way.
The Bakemonogatari, also, it's worth noting that Bakemonogatari has a sequel called Nisei Monogatari that is airing right now. And it is actually probably airing right now.
Like
Like right now. I think it's right now airing in Japan. And
you should probably talk about
Aren't that based off a visual novel?
Might be.
No.
There's a million bit.
No, it's based on a light novel.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, never mind.
School days.
Alright.
No.
I love school
Alright.
days.
Alright, I hate school days. So this is
I've never seen it, so I'm in the middle. It's
so
actually
here's how I gotta throw this out with school days. It is either a 1 or a 10, and there's zero middle ground here with how you're gonna rate this series.
unless you haven't seen it.
And I can't even. And to be fair, and it's really hard to. I would have to know people personally to recommend it to them because there are some things that happen, and I can't tell you the reason that these things happen, and that's why he doesn't like it. But that's why I really liked it.
Nice boat.
So, nice boat. If you know the meme
Nice
nice
boat.
boat, it's from this.
Yes.
And we can't tell you why that's funny because it'll spoil everything.
But yeah,
but
No, it won't. It was airing on MoonTube.
no. Okay. The reason why it wasn't aired that day is a spoiler.
Oh. I thought it was interrupted by some.
No, it was not interrupted.
Okay.
It just
It
never
was not
aired.
aired because of something
Oh, okay.
It didn't
in the
air
episode.
Oh,
Spoilers.
okay. It wasn't aired because of
Yeah.
that episode.
Basically, the last episode never aired, and instead it
No,
was
it aired. It aired a week later.
aired a week later.
It was
But
because of something that happened in Japan that day, and I can't say it because it would spoil everything.
Yeah.
So,
Suffice it to say, they thought it would be in bad taste to run that episode.
so
they
here's School Days. School Days is a romance series based off a visual novel, and I can't tell you what happens in the visual novel, but it's a romance series to watch if you are kind of sick of watching romance series. And that's how I'm gonna put it to you.
If you're looking to watch some type of new
If you're
romance
looking to
series,
not watch romance series for a while, this is the one you watch.
if you want to watch romance series for a long time afterwards, don't watch it. Because you're gonna like put down anime and just be like, I'm done for like a week.
No, I went back to it. I really liked it because it was different.
I put down anime for like a week. I was just like, I'm done.
If you play the game Sayano Uta, this has the same effect on you.
Yeah.
What's the next slide? I think that's
That's it.
Bartender.
That's 19, bro.
Alright,
Let's-
fine, we'll talk about Bartender real quick.
We can talk about
Slade.
Spin Girl because
Bartender!
Fine.
Bartender is a show about alcohol, and it's a show about a bartender,
Helps everyone with their problems.
and it helps everybody with their
You
problems
forgot jazz music.
with alcohol, and it has jazz music, which makes a lot of things better. Face State's story about this, it doesn't even follow the bartender, it follows different people every episode, but they visit his bar, and, they'll have a problem. And he solves their problem, for lack of a better, phrase, he solves them with alcohol. But it's not necessarily like there's this one lady who her relationship with her dad is strained, and she's like, I think it's because I broke this really old whiskey or liquor bottle, and she tries to explain a little bit about her family, and so he's like, and using his knowledge of alcohol, he explains, or he figured out what this bottle might be and why it might be so important to her father, based off of what his father's done. And so he ends up saying, I think it's this one, and so she can now give that as a present to her dad to make amends for something that she did as she was a kid that he may have not really enjoyed or whatnot. This also actually brings apart, if you're over 21, a really good drinking game, because at the end of every episode, they actually show the drink that he makes, they actually show you how to make it at the end of every episode.
Something to just add on. If you're ever like in an anime club or something like this is a good show to watch weekly, but not ever marathon.
Not to binge. It's not a good.
I'm gonna watch this.
All in one show.
Yeah. The other shows we mentioned, you could probably do that with perfectly fine, no problems.
Maybe not so much Haibane Renmei.
Probably not.
Probably not. You probably do a REDLINE like 3 times in a row though.
I did
Redline
Redline 3 times in a row.
Right, but this one,
Every month.
it's really good to watch if you're just like, every Thursday I'll watch this. And it'll go really, really well. But trying to marathon it doesn't
It's
get
even better if you watch it every Thursday with Nightcap. Just saying.
Describe Scotch as well.
Anyway,
Kind of watch some Bartender.
that is the anime that we have prepared. Anybody have any other questions for us?
Any anime they've seen that that anyone else hasn't? That would be the time.
Yeah. Any other suggestions? Were we bad? Were we good?
Any funny phrases?
Something.
Something.
Well, that's about it for us. We're glad to have you guys. We're doing another panel tomorrow at, I forgot the time.
12:30.
What?
Isn't? Yeah, isn't it?
It's like 2:30.
Thursday, yeah.
What, man?
But it's gonna be video game gens.
It's this but video
It's
games.
this, but with video games.
Yeah. So
Video games and also obscurity. That would be the two.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks.
enjoy the con.